All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, when the New York Yankees needed to take care of business this weekend, they were unable to as they lost two out of three at home versus the Cleveland Indians. The Yankees were outscored in their last two games by the score of 22-4 while they've also lost three out of their last four games. And with the Boston Red Sox and Toronto Blue Jays winning today, New York is now a game and a half behind Toronto for the final wild card spot in the American League, and 2.5 games behind Boston, who currently owns the top wild card spot. Over the last 22 games, the Yankees are only 7-15 as they are not playing their best baseball at the most critical time. However, as bad as it has been for the Yankees, they still control their own destiny. Why? Because they still play the Red Sox, Blue Jays, and Rays, all three teams that are ahead of them in the American League East and the playoff picture. The bottom line is the next three games for the Yankees are so key. They host the lowly Texas Rangers for a three-game set in the Bronx, which begins tomorrow night. And the Yankees have to go out there and take care of business. It won't be easy. Like I've said before, the teams that are out of it right now, you cannot just pencil in a W. I cannot harp on this enough. These young guys that are on these teams, they're trying to make a name for themselves. Then on top of that, the veterans that are on these clubs, if they're looking for jobs themselves next season, whether it be with their current team or a spring training invite from another club. So they're going to go out there and bring it. So the Yankees, they have to go out there. The bottom line is take care of business early on, put these teams out of their misery, especially with Texas. You've got to go out there and put up some crooked numbers early on just to, set the tone to say, you know what, listen, not tonight. We're going out there. We have to take care of our business. And it's so important because you look at that last nine, three at Boston this weekend. Right after that, they're in Toronto for three, and then they finish up at home with three against Tampa. And if you're the Yankees, if you can come out of that stretch 5-4, you'd be happy. But the thing is, 5-4 might not be good enough for you to get into the postseason. The Yankees, first and foremost, they got to get better pitching. Their ace, Garrett Cole, did not give them the start that the Yankees needed today. 5 2/3 innings, 7 earned runs. That's not going to get it done, especially against a team in Cleveland that is not going to be playoff bound. The Yankees have to play better in all phases of the game. We've seen a lot of sloppy play from the Yankees, and only the Red Sox have committed more errors than the 90 that the Yankees have committed so far this year in the American League. I've said it before, and I will continue to say it. The Yankees have the talent to play with anybody, but they also have the talent to lose to anybody as well. It's really feast or famine. I could see a scenario the Yankees get into the playoffs, they can get hot and make a run, or they can get in as a wild card and they could be one and done. That's the way that this team has been, especially in the second half of the season, very Jekyll and Hyde-ish. And you know what? Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. But the bottom line is this is when you want to be playing your best baseball. This is on Aaron Boone, the manager, also Brian Cashman, the general manager, but it's also on the players because it's gut check time. It's put up or shut up time. And what do you want to be remembered as if you are the 2021 Yankees? Everything is in front of them for the taking. That's the bottom line. It's not going to be easy because you look at it, Toronto is playing some good baseball right now. Boston, they're hanging in there and they just keep finding a way. And the thing is this, when you look at Toronto, they've been taking care of the business versus the teams that they're supposed to beat. They beat up on Oakland, another playoff contender. They beat up on Baltimore, and we've seen that heavily over the last couple of weeks. And then they took care of business versus Minnesota. This is what you have to do when you are contending. You need to take care of your business versus the clubs that you're supposed to beat. And to Steve Peters' point, thanks for chiming in. Steve says, I just don't understand how this collection of players can be so whack at times. And they're like, again, I've talked about it before. There's not a killer instinct with this current Yankees club. Of course, obviously a different generation. when we saw the Yankees win 4 championships in a 5 year stretch from 96 to 2000, you had a locker room full of guys that had an over my dead body mentality when it came to these situations. You know, the Paul O'Neills of the world, the Scott Brosiuses, and so many others. The Yankees just don't have those guys right now. Maybe Brett Gardner, but that's about it. And it's a situation where, you know what, they have put themselves in this situation because they've had so many opportunities to take care of their business and not be here and probably even be closer to the Tampa Bay Rays for the top spot in the American League East than they are right now. But, you know, just like I talked about with the San Diego Padres earlier with their struggles, and while they're probably going to miss the postseason, the Yankees are going to look back at, you know, all of these games they struggle with the likes of the Baltimore Orioles and so many other teams that were out of it, or so many other teams that were not in contention. You go back to last weekend, losing 2 out of 3 to the New York Mets, and the Yankees very easily could have got swept in that series. These are things where you got to really go out there and take care of your business, and they haven't, but they still uh, control everything. And you know, it's a situation like I talked about. You know, with Toronto, they've been taking care of their business. Boston is an anomaly because you look at the injuries that the Red Sox have been dealing with. They've had so many people on the COVID list right now, and yet and still they're going out there and they're winning games. They took care of business this weekend at home versus the Orioles. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic coming down the stretch. The Yankees do control their destiny. It's easier said than done for them to get to the postseason. But I think the first things first, they need to go out there and handle their business versus the Rangers. And when I say handle their business, I mean sweep them. Because with that last nine, that back nine that you have to deal with, if you're New York, you want to go into next weekend to Fenway Park with as much momentum for yourself, feeling as good about your situation as possible in order for you to go up there and take care of your business. We'll have to wait and see, but this is make or break time for the Yankees, and we're going to see what they are made of and what they are indeed going to do. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you are on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.